In 2 theaters in St. Louis. Check our website at democracynow.org. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez for another edition of Democracy Now!
The viewpoints expressed in this program are the opinions of the people expressing them, and not necessarily those of Fresh Air Incorporated, its staff, or its board of directors.
Hi, this is Al McFarland, host of The Conversation with Al McFarland. You're listening to 90.3 FM, KFAI, Minneapolis. I'm Al McFarland. Welcome to The Conversation with Al McFarland. I'm glad to be here and glad to have you along as well. Well, today we're talking all things Jamaica, concerned about the devastation that the island is going through in the wake of Hurricane Melissa. And I've asked a group of family and friends to join me today to talk about what we can do to respond to the misery, the suffering, but also the need that must be addressed in Jamaica right now. Before I begin, I want to thank all of you who listen here on KFAI and those who are connecting with us through Facebook or LinkedIn or the YouTube channels, Black Press USA and Insight News. And wherever you are, we want you to be part of the conversation. You can join the conversation on any of those online platforms, and you can leave a comment, raise a question, be engaged in the conversation. We appreciate that. We also invite you to like and share. Let people know this conversation is going on right now and that they can get information about what's going on and how they can be involved in supporting the people of Jamaica. Now, what's important to me as a Jamaican American is that we are here in the diaspora and we are concerned. Like me, I'm sure many people called relatives and friends who are on the island. I called my cousin Daisy Coke, who's in Kingston, and I called my cousin Phil McFarland, who's in Kingston, just to get feedback update. Well, Philip is Jamaica. Again, we want you to be involved. Add your comments, your thoughts. Let us know, and we'll let you know how you can support, how you can help us. Today's program includes several great people, all connected to Jamaica. Waylon Richards is here. He runs the Organization for Strategic Development in Jamaica, OSDJ. Some major events coming up about the diaspora here in Minnesota. Trini C. Marina Neal is here. She's with the Caribbean Disaster Relief Fund of Minnesota, an organization that really is looking at and supporting all of the islands, all the countries in the Caribbean, and where the need is, focus goes. And she's here talking about the work that the Caribbean Association community is doing in Jamaica. Earl Paris is here. Earl Paris and I go back a long, long ways. He's one of the leaders and organizers of the Jamaica, Minnesota organization, and is a person that we all turn to see what's happening in Jamaica. So all of these voices are here to engage and to share and to invite you to be involved and supportive as well. Let me begin by inviting Philip on. Philip McFarland is in Kingston. Philip, cousin Phil, how you doing, man?
I'm good. Me personally, I'm good. Mm-hmm. But collectively as a country, we kind of going through it right now. However, I believe, the will and the mindset of the people will get over. Right now, just trying to do as much as we can do. Those of us who are in a better position to help those who are not so fortunate at the moment,
Give a review, if you would, cousin, about what happened. What did Melissa do? It approached from the south. And then what was the path, and what is the country
So,
feeling?
right. So it came from the east, right? Initially, so Kingston is in the southeast, right?
Mhm.
We were expecting that it would enter from that side, but it passed south and continues to west, and then start going north, but more northwest. So that took the eye of the storm through St. Elizabeth, and nearby parishes such as Westmoreland, St. James, Hanover, Trelawney, Manchester, Clarendon, right? But
Mhm.
even with that, we, as far as in the east, sorry, got a lot of damage because, as I saying, St. Mary, that's where I'm from originally. Every farm trees down. There's lots of houses without roofs. Even my mother roofs is gone completely, right?
Mhm.
So then you can imagine the parishes that were in direct contact with the eye. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of damage. I mean, I can speak based on what I've seen on social media in the east, in the west right now. There's a lot of towns that are being marrown off, can't get access to aid, people can't get there's no electricity, there's no phone, there's nothing. You understand? I've heard a story yesterday where somebody said they have counted 19 bodies on the ground, right? And they can't get to the, because remember, a lot of these communities are in the hills, in rural sections, and then when all the trees are down, the bridges have collapsed. It's a very dire situation right now. You know what I mean? In St. Mary, fortunately, there were no loss of lives. However, there's still loss of stock, farms, house, roofs, right? And a lot of the media is focused on the western side, which is rightfully due. However, the media hasn't really come to that side of the country and see the damage. And these people lost their life with their homes. The kids have no clothes. It's terrible. So what we've been doing right now is just Thursday last week we brought food and feed 50 families with care packages and basic necessities. Then we went back and started and assessed all the damages done, and we have raised over $1 million so far. Thankfully to everybody have been donated. So tomorrow we'll be going to the hardware. We got our truck already. We'll be bringing all the material and we'll start rebuilding the houses, the roofs, the most damaged ones, you know what I mean? And these are houses with a lot of small kids and so forth. So, there's a lot of work to be done, but it will be done.
Philip, what's happening? So you live, in the country, in a small town. The storm tears the roof off of your house, maybe the walls as well. What
Yep.
do? What are the mothers and fathers and their children? Where do they
Now,
sleep at night? What is sleeping at night like?
what I'm seeing is a lot of people sleeping outside, catching under something, right? Because remember, these are people that live in their houses for years, born. Maybe they're the parents and they born and they come, live there. So you're talking about thousands of people. It's very impossible for a government or any institution to build back houses that quick, right? And where do you put these people, right? There's not somebody was suggesting maybe get buses and bring the people to Kingston and build tents, so forth, like a proper shelter where these people have warm food every day, beds, something, until the community until some of these houses can rebuild. And we have to figure out how we're going to rebuild all of these houses. Because remember, it wasn't the government that builds it. These are people that built their houses through their own hard work and money. Now they've lost all of that. I don't know if the government can go back and build everybody a house. That's probably going to be impossible. However, I think we have to give people the resources, at least try to get them back on the feet. Right now, a lot of people don't have nowhere to sleep. They're sleeping on. Thankfully, I have some people that are taking in people in their houses. But as you know, how much people can hold in a house, right? If you all have 2 bedrooms, it's sad, you know what I mean? And the thing is that I don't think we can really see the grasp of how bad things are, because you can't get access to these communities because they are marooned off. In these rural communities, most of them are poor and maybe have board houses. And if they are blown down, I can tell you, right now, I don't know what they're doing. You understand? And it's a sad situation.
I'm Al McFarland. This is The Conversation. My cousin, Philip McFarland, he's entrepreneur in Jamaica, in Kingston.
Yeah.
People know that the artist community itself is mobilizing like other. Trini, how you doing? Thank you for being here. The Caribbean Disaster Relief Fund of Minnesota, what is it, and what's happening with you in terms of responding from the organization and personal point of view?
Yeah, thanks for having me here today. It's heart-wrenching. I've been Caribbean Disaster Relief Fund Minnesota's been around since 1988 with the greats of people like Jerry Steele, who took bomber planes over when there was Gilbert with the United States government to do aid then. From what I'm hearing, I believe this is the worst hurricane that's ever touched down in the world, period. I don't care what anybody's telling me. I've seen images of Jamaica where it looks like a bomb went off. Mm-hmm. The more I'm seeing pictures, the more sad it is, because I've traveled to Jamaica the last 20 years, sometimes 2-3 times a year. And I don't go in the resorts. I go into the communities like Flankers and Tivoli. And it just looks like things have been bundled up. There's no green. It's just all brown and broken. But then you see the people, and even though they're screaming for help, they're not broken, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things I love about Jamaica. Mm-hmm. So Jerry Steele brought me in probably longer than 20 years ago, before my first son was born, to a meeting for Caribbean Disaster Relief Fund over at Carlo Lachmasingh's office here in the Twin Cities with Norma and Earl. And I wasn't even a mom yet. And he's like, I think you'd be really good. Bring your admin skills. And here I am. And I've been involved in every single major storm that's hit Haiti, the Bahamas, St. Kitts, Barbuda, and now Jamaica. Big Head Brian Martin, who manages a big event down there, tells me Jamaica is my fourth home. I am CARICOM, so it's a big part of my heart. So along with the wonderful elders here in the community that has helped formulate Caribbean Disaster Relief Fund, and of course, because this is Jamaica, you have people like Earl Paris. I'm also a member on JMO, Jamaica Minnesota Organization, and Wayland with OSGD. You have a few of us that are, most of us, you know, I think I'm the youngest, one of the youngest ones on the group, but a lot of elders at the table because they have so much experience giving guidance and insight on what we've done. So 2 weeks ago, I sent out the email. Unfortunately, I think we got to meet, guys, because I see Melissa is not letting up. Mm-hmm. And we immediately jumped on a call the next day. And we tried to be as proactive as possible. And so what we've done is what we do. We ask people to, first of all, donate funds. We sent them to the Jamaican website, Support Jamaica. I'll pull up the website in a second, but we sent them to it's got to have the .gov/.jm attached to it, so it's not fraudulent. So we send them to that website. We send them to the Caribbean Disaster Relief Fund that's hosted on the CARIFest page. People can also reach out to Jamaica Minnesota Organization and make donations, or reach out to strategic one that Wayland has. And then we do boots on the ground. So we have activated, Tommy worked with Galaxy Foods to activate and place barrels in different locations. We solidified with these locations, our Caribbean partners, that it was okay to have these barrels there to obtain new items. What I did is I went on the website Jamaica has, and I condensed their 28-page list, because they have lists from everything from, hospitals and fake inflatables and stuff to just what we could fit in barrels, and minimize down the list so that we had a list of items of what we were putting out to the public of what needed as far as hand sanitizers, toothpaste, batteries, toothbrush, all that good stuff. And then I do what I do. I go to work on social media, and our members do what they do. They send it out via email, and I post and I share and I post and I share. And we try to do as much as we can while also keeping our sanity. Because I posted an image yesterday. Somebody sent it from Jamaica. There's a mattress in the water, and it's floating. Well, it looks like river. I think it was Black River, but if this doesn't affect you, it really does, right? And it's heart-wrenching because, as I said, I've traveled to Jamaica probably more than I've traveled back to Canada in the last few years, and from 2007. And I've gone in these communities where sometimes you got to get out and walk. There's no car, you know what I mean? Or you wake up to 10 goats outside. In Hanover, you wake up to 10 goats outside your house baaing instead of crowing. And so I just put my heart and my soul into it. Being raised in a developing country such as Trinidad, I know what it is not to have. I've carried buckets of water up the hill growing up to bathe. I know what it is not to have lights. I know what it is to have a piece of hop spread and just a cup of Milo, and that is all I had to eat all day. I know I went from a first world country to a third world country, and from 10 to 19, I know what it is not to have just the basic amenities and in life. So I think that's why I'm so passionate about it. Even my oldest born son, I was in Florida this weekend. He's like, Mom, I want to have a dance event and raise money. So I know that my kids are passionate about it. My other kid is asking, how can I help carry stuff over to Galaxy? And we just do what we do when we activate. I'm now activating volunteers and spreading the word on our social media pages because we'll need help packing. And so I've been working closely with Galaxy Foods. I just want to say thank you to Galaxy Foods, Arun and Ravi. They've really opened up not only their store, but fielded numerous calls. They donated the barrels, and then they're donating the space tomorrow for us to actually build, dismantle from the barrels inventory and then rebuild the barrels. So we're kind of putting stuff of every little thing in there. And so, it's not just one time. We've already discussed, myself and Earl have had a couple discussions that it's not just going to be this one shipment. We know Jamaica is going to need help for a very long time to come. And right now it's for sure, everybody is vulnerable and at risk. I see Hip Strip in Montego Bay today. I saw it. And I mean, that's where we did a majority of Dance Hall Queen events. I can't believe I just never seen anything like this. And I went through a coup in Trinidad when you know what I mean? And the fires and all of that and everything that happened with the coup in 1990. And I've just never seen anything like this ever. I've never seen a green, luscious, vibrant country. It doesn't even look real. So I just ask people, first of all, to pray for Jamaica, pray for all of us that are doing the work. There's a lot of entertainers such as Philip. There's a lot of promoters and artists that are, I don't know how they doing it, but like they're out in the communities just getting school bags and, Vibes Cartel donated money and Bounty Killer and all these people. There's a lot of people in the entertainment industry and in the communities that are actually boots on the ground. And I just hope they recharge and replenish and then they know we're here globally supporting them. So let me make
sure we shout out Galaxy and other locations, other businesses here in Twin Cities that people can bring things to. We'll come back to that. Let me bring in two other voices, Waylon Richards and Earl Paris. Waylon leads the OSDJ, Organization of Strategic Development in Jamaica, and Earl Paris, one of the backbones of the Jamaica, Minnesota organization, JMO. Earl, Waylon, brothers, thank you for being here. Let me get your feelings, your assessment, your thoughts at the moment as we talk about Jamaica, its needs, the impact of the hurricane, and the solutions that lie ahead. Earl, let me start with you. What's your thoughts?
I start by, Philip, I'm going to give you some encouragement. When I'm laying in bed and I say my prayers, I said, we're going to get through this. We're going to get through this because I said Jamaica, I think, has reached out. We have set such a standard in the world that I see the whole entire world coming to help us. That's what I see. So I'm very optimistic there. I feel good in that respect. It's going to be a haul. It's going to be short term and it's going to be long term. Right now, we're working the short term things, the quick things that we can do, the low hanging fruit, if you will, right? But then if we stay in there, which we will, things are going to happen. So from JMO's standpoint, as Trini pointed out, we are part of the group here that really come together. And I want to go back a little bit, as Trini pointed out, 37 years ago was Hurricane Gilbert, right? And 37 years prior to that was Hurricane Charlie. So you sort of have a context there, of the difference in time between both hurricanes. So we sort of felt this one was going to be real bad, when it was coming. And out of Hurricane Gilbert, that's basically how the Jamaica Minnesota organization was started, and Wayland was a part of that effort, and we're still going strong there. So we're here, and as Trini pointed out, we're going to be here on behalf of Jamaica, and not just Jamaica. We're there for, we say, the Caribbean, but relative to JMO, we pay attention to things like education, scholarship for kids, and cultural events, which we have not done a lot of that lately. Information, we try to give that out where we can, but disaster is sort of where we've been spending time over the past years, and it's a part of us. As Trini pointed out, her kids are having that feeling. It's something God put in us to do. Not everybody has that gift, Oh, they have it, but they're not using it, right? But yeah, so we're going to be there. We're there. We're working. Trini, I guess, will talk more about the logistics of what's going on. But I'll maybe just say that tomorrow night, we're going to be having a pack and ship the next day event, and we've reached out to our friends and JMO members, CARFES and their members, and the general population. And I'm getting some feedback. People are calling in or sending emails and saying, yep, I'm coming, and I'm going to bring a friend with me. So it's looking better, Trini.
Well, I want to make sure we invite our listeners here on KFAI. This is a progressive community and a supportive community. So over the course of this program, Earl and Trini, let's make sure we invite the KFAI radio audience, radio family to support, to show up. So
what I would say is I know we have a lot of volunteers for tomorrow, but we will have a few. We're going to be trying to do a shipment at least once a month. So the next one will be December. We will switch up locations. That will be done at CARIFES headquarters over off of West River Road. Hopefully more to come on that, but I would like to save that hopefully for the second round because I don't want to have too many people there and then there's nothing for them to do. If that makes sense. But yes, we want I know a lot of people's like, I don't have money, I have hands. That human are the most valuable people in the world. That's the biggest resource. So give me an hour, give me a half an hour. Sure. Thank you. That's what matters. So yeah, we will share the information when needed.
Let me add something again. I'm talking to Philip. Okay, you're underground there, so I'm trying to lift you up. Okay, I'm from St. Anne, right? So we're next door parishes, right? And I spoke to Rohan Preston this morning. He's here, but he's from St. Mary also. And I knew Al was from St. Mary, so, and he's got concerns with the Port Maria Hospital, as you pointed out. Activities are going west, and he's sort of looking at your hospital in St. Mary that you're from. So we have people here in Minnesota who are looking east to help. So it's a lot. I don't, can't cover all of it here, but things are happening. That's why when I go to bed and I pray and I think we're going to come out. Okay.
You're muted, Phil. You're muted.
Yeah.
Phil, you're muted.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, my bad.
You were saying something.
Yeah, and I'm saying the tricky thing for people in the East who shot in West to help out, they don't know the inner communities of the West, right? So they'll go to the popular spot. So you'll find like some locations will get more donations than or more support, or overwhelming support than one section get underwhelming support, right? So that's why I think it's good to really connect with somebody who's from that area and can really tell you the areas that are really needed, that really needs support. For me, why I chose Origin, well, I'm from St. Mary, so obviously I'm going to always look out for my community and people in general. But the thing is, I know the ground there, I travel there often, so I can see exactly what's happening. I know every little cribbage and corner, right? And I know a lot of people. Once I enter anywhere near the vicinity of Gale or that region, then everybody saw what I've been doing on social media because we posted the video. So when I got there and sat there, there's so many people come and reach out to me. They want me to help here and there. Right? I can't help everybody, but I know they feel like somebody is there to give an eye and tell the world what's happening there. You know what I mean? So it's a challenge, but nevertheless, as you said, they are very optimistic. They're very resilient. And remember, Jamaica is a place where people don't need a lot to be happy, right? We string up a sound, play some domino, cook some food, and we're good. We're happy, right? We don't need a mansion and a Mercedes Benz. So they're used to being happy with simple things in life. So just a little help to get back on their feet. That's all they need. You know what I mean?
Wayla, jump in. Talk about the broad overview, your experience and your thoughts, your prayers for family at home in Jamaica, for people in the diaspora who are concerned, and how we as diasporians can be in community here, things that you're doing here, but also in support of people at home. Talk about what OSJD is, first of all. OSDJ.
OSDJ.
Yeah.
OSDJ stands for the Organization for Strategic Development in Jamaica. And the key word in there is strategic. And it brought me back to when I was in graduate school. We had a class, Management of Technology and Innovation. And the assignment the teacher gave us was to think of a problem that can be solved with technology and develop the technology to solve that problem 10 years out from today. So that thinking make you say, okay, in Jamaica, if you're going to respond to the needs, what will that need look like 10 years from now? So that's the concept behind it. The areas of outreach that we are engaged in is youth and community development and healthcare. Our first mission was in response to Hurricane Ivan in 2004, where we brought a team from our church down to repair a church facility that was destroyed by Ivan. And since then, our eyes have been open to see some of the real challenges of Jamaica. We focus, again, on the community development, youth, and healthcare. Right now, there's a big drive, and we're probably going to have to wait until all the humanitarian needs are met in terms of people, food and clothes and shelter, to look at the devastation at health institutions and facilities. The one that we hear of is significant damage to Black River Hospital. Because I don't know how many of you know the Black River area, but the hospital, if you're sick and want a relaxing place to do your recovery, Black River Hospital. It's right there on the ocean. If it's a hurricane, you don't want to be there. But Mandeville Hospital, I heard, is taking on most of the patients from Black River, because it sounds like the entire parish is devastated, not just the town of Black River, but the entire St. Elizabeth.
Mhm.
I've heard from friends in Montego Bay, significant damage there, and as far as I don't know if you want to call it east or west, but as far as St. Anne's Bay, they did get damage too.
Trelawney is really bad too. It's
Yeah.
coming out. Yeah.
So it would be the major hit would be St. Elizabeth, Trelawney, Westmoreland, St. James, and Hanover.
Mhm.
Those would be the major parishes.
When I talked to Phil and my cousin, Daisy Koch, a couple of days ago, she described it, two things strikingly. One, she said the bread basket in the center of the island has been devastated, and so that there is going to be a food crisis
Yeah.
that will be at least a year before new crops can be brought to market to the consumer. That was one thing. And then she closed our conversation by saying, kind of in a classic Jamaican, statement of the world, we're not dead, but we're going to suffer.
That
We're
sounds
not dead,
Jamaican.
but we're going to suffer. And so the question of understanding that suffering is ahead and suffering is massive is a concern. And so on the one hand, it's simply acknowledging the pain that is afoot, but also it says we will stand, and as you said, Earl Parrish, we will come through this and come through stronger and better. But the suffering is real. Go ahead, Waylon.
And even though we cherish the immediate response, would also ask your listeners to think long term with us, because as Philip said, some of these houses is not going to be rebuilt in a day. So it's going to take long-term commitment to really create the impact that we're looking for in terms of the restoration of communities in Jamaica.
I'm Al McFarland. This is The Conversation with Al McFarland. We're talking about Jamaica, all things Jamaica in the wake of Hurricane Melissa. Joining us from Jamaica, on the ground in Jamaica, my first cousin, Philip McFarland. He's with the band Earthcry and Irie Jute Records. He's an artist, producer, and is working to bring his energy and his group energy to supporting families and communities in Jamaica. Philip, thank you for being here. Also, Trini C. is with the Caribbean Disaster Relief Association. Earl Parrish is here, Jamaica, Minnesota organization, and you just heard Waylon Richards, who is with OSDJ, Organization of Strategic Development in Jamaica. And we want you to support Jamaica, you who are listening here on KFAI. If you want to get involved before the show is over, we'll give you how you can support by donating money, by donating goods, new goods, where you can do it by supporting efforts to package those goods. We'll also have Philip, if you would, Philip, put in the chat places people can support directly so that they can connect and support your work in Jamaica. I wanted to take a second and just pull up a screen, and Trini, maybe you'll walk us through this because you talked about being in social media. We just pulled up a page. Oops, maybe it's not going to show up. All right, there we go. I don't know if you can navigate that or help us see, but any commentary, Trini, about what the Gleaner and what social media are doing from your point of view as a influencer?
I just want to applaud anybody that is managing content on social media from a what they call a real point of view. The Gleaner has done a fabulous job of posting 5 to 10 updates a day, whether it's community, whether it's VAS, whether it's whoever is in these, whether it's MPs, any type of update. They have done a great job of just posting real time as much as they can. I also want to applaud them for not posting, not highlighting so much all the deaths. We know there's going to be deaths. We know there's going to be suffering, as people are suffering already, right? But they're just not, that's not the media that the Jamaican people want. The media that they want, the attention that they want globally is, we need help. We need organized help, and we need it now. And we're going to need it after now. We're going to need it for a very long time to come. Right now, it's the humanitarian efforts, but they will eventually need supplies such as more zinc, more cement. You know, they'll need the contractors to help them do the work. If it's now that everything is going to have to be weather shielded and up to hurricane code, you know, the fund of how the way those funds get dispersed and support the Jamaican people. So I know there's a few news outlets that are posting real information. They're not sensationalizing it, unlike some of our local partners, as far as, you know, just highlighting, the Jamaican people will never come back again. The Jamaican people have come back. They just need to come back healthy and strong. They are here. You know what I'm saying? And so I applaud even the efforts that are being done, as I said, by the promoters and the entertainers and the artists. They're saying it's bad, but then they're saying that people still have a smile on their face and they're grateful. They're not posting people fighting. There's lines. People are desperate, you know what I mean? But they're not focusing on the negative. They're really trying to keep the positive and keep hope alive, right? So, yeah.
Sam Cook is one of our viewers. Sam, thank you for checking us out. He says the USS Comfort, it's a Red Cross medical ship, should be on the way if it's not there already. Anybody know about that? Is there any information that anybody has about our government, the U.S. government's response to support the people in Jamaica?
The U.S. government has donated 11 million US dollars.
They've said 3 Black Hawks, I think, that got there yesterday.
Some of the U.S. military aid are here. So,
They've sent search and rescue teams that are there already. They've sent people for JPS. Well, I don't know if that's the
Canada. Yeah,
US,
Canada sent some folks down prior to the hurricane.
prior to it happening. Yep.
Right. To help with the restoration of the light. China donated a lot of items.
Costa Rica sent the med planes, right?
Yeah, and manpower.
Yep.
Venezuela sent stuff. There's quite a few countries.
Barbados sent stuff.
Barbados and so forth. Right.
You've got an event coming up in the next few days, Waylon. We pivot a little bit to have you share what your organization is doing to build community here in Minnesota in support of Jamaica broadly.
Yes, so we have launched the fundraising gala, which will be on November 15th. And there are 2 significant pieces of that. As well as, if you have your dancing shoes, make sure you wear them. Our friend Linval will be doing the DJ for the night. I think at moments like these, you need an opportunity to shake your legs and move to the rhythm of the Caribbean vibes. But it's also under the theme strengthening the bond between Minnesota and Jamaica. Minnesota is probably listed as either one of the top 5 states in which to live. And one of the areas of significance would be healthcare. So we have the Hennepin County Medical Center, we have the Mayo Clinic, we have the University of Minnesota, we have Children, Minneapolis, and those are all organizations that have participated in our healthcare outreach to Jamaica. Besides the organizations, we have a lot of Jamaicans who are in leadership position in the state. And those of us who love to repeat or recite the national pledge, there's a section in there that talks about so that Jamaica may under God increase in beauty, fellowship and prosperity, and play her part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race. And I see the leaders among us from Jamaica who are living out that pledge as they work and serve the people of Minnesota. So part of that is the request of the governor, a recognition of those individuals. So going forward, on an annual basis, we'll ask that the governor recognize through a certificate of appreciation to these individuals that are in leadership in Minnesota. And I'm pleased to say both yourself and Earl are among the nominees for this year's award. And the other thing that we're launching at the event is the Million Friends of Jamaica. And through that initiative, we're seeking to identify 1 million persons over the next 5 years who will donate a minimum of $10 per year to this fund. And the fund then will be used to support our ongoing work in Jamaica. 2 immediate projects that we're looking at is the Davidton Outreach Center and a new ward at the Bustamante Hospital for Children. So those are the 2 things that will be highlighted at this year's gala. But in light of what's happening in Jamaica, is to take a little time off, breathe, and get rejuvenated to continue. I know early next year we'll be probably looking at a mission trip to go down and participate in repairing some of the facilities that are damaged. And it may not be in our immediate communities that we serve, because we didn't get much damage in the areas where we usually do our outreach. But I'm sure we can extend the hand to some other community that we can go and assist in rebuilding.
Philip, you mentioned that your mom's house, her roof got blown off.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I said at the beginning, I reached out to you, I reached out to our cousin Daisy. Earl, wanted to get a sense of, you know, your family, any personal impact for your own family in Jamaica. And do you know people here whose families were impacted negatively or otherwise?
That's thanks for asking that question, because first start with me. So I have 3 family households in Jamaica, and we're all in the Runaway Bay, St. Anne's Bay area, and no injuries, no house damage, but trees fell. And I told them that's okay, we will replant the trees. So that was good. In terms of, I keep calling, you know, the Jamaicans that I know here, especially the ones in JMO, and feel the question, you know, I've not heard of any injuries to any one of us in Jamaica. Now I know that, I know Linville is waiting to hear he has a brother in Mandeville. No, sorry, not Mandeville, Sav-la-Mar. And Sav-la-Mar was a part of the Ground Zero. And so...
And just so people know, Linville is part of the KFAI family, one of our popular DJs. So he's got a world of friends here on KFAI.
Right. So yeah, I keep checking in with him. I think I talked to him yesterday. He's still waiting to hear. And the thing is that to get the information out, you have to leave, and Philip knows this, you have to leave where you are and maybe drive or walk until you get a ping.
Yeah, serious thing.
And then, you know, you can call, you know, so it's 30 miles away sometimes. That's where you got to go to. And sometimes they're talking about like less than 2 minutes and then it's gone. We cannot call in, because when we call in, we go to voicemail. So we just have to wait and hope that if they call. So
yeah,
for me,
the phone services are down right now. So in most areas. So if you try calling those areas, it's going to be hard to get through.
Not getting through.
Yeah. So for me, and for JMO, there's no one hurt, no injuries at all in JMO so far.
Well, same question, Waylon. Anybody in your personal family or neighborhood that has and is experiencing stress and distress?
No, my immediate neighborhood would be Manchester, Clarendon, Kingston, and I have not heard of any significant damage. I think, like Earl, trees are down. Mapen Hospital, one of the hospitals we support in Clarendon, that minor leakage, so not significant damage, as opposed to Nowell Home in Hanover that experienced significant damage.
I would think, let me just add to that. As I know Jerry Steele is down in the Trelawney area. I haven't heard from him yet, but I would think in that, I know 2 people in that area that had some roof damage.
I think, wasn't Blossom on the last call?
Yeah.
I think she said some more trees damage in their corner.
Yes, roof damage. Right.
Yeah.
But they're in the ground zero. You know, right, Philip? It passed. The eye passed through St. Elizabeth.
Yeah.
I'm sending a note to Phil in the chat asking if you want to put your video. I watched your video post on YouTube.
Okay.
Maybe you can drop that in the chat. We can show that. You know.
Okay.
Can you do that?
Yeah, man. I'll send a couple of them.
Yeah, just drop it in the chat, and our producer can push that out, and we can check. But I wanted to, have you, since you're on the ground, talk about the feelings that you experienced as you walked through the community. What were you afraid you would find? What did you find? And as the minutes and time go by, what are you discovering about, again, the resilience and the, because when I watch some of the videos, even people standing where houses are gone completely, all of a sudden somebody laughs. And that laugh is something of power and of graciousness.
As I said, remember when Jamaica say Irie, it means, when I as a musician, I travel the world, right? I see different culture, different people, different approach to life, right? And I see what people put as what value people put on things in their life, right? In our country, as I said, growing up, we were happy, and sometimes most of us didn't know we were poor until you leave and probably go in Kingston or you go overseas. They say, this is how people live, right? And the reason why I say that, because we were happy growing up. You wake up, most of what we eat would come from the back of the yard, right? Banana, yam, right? My grandmother raised chicken. So all the thing we don't really go to the supermarket. We only go to the shop and buy like seasoning and salt, oil. We use coconut oil or something. We go to the river, we swim. We go to the bush to catch bird. In the evening, we go to the play dominoes on the corner, and the guy that playing music to the sound system. And I was happy, and there's always something keeping. We are happy with that, right? That don't require us any amount of money for enjoy yourself. So when you see people smiling, you wonder, for most people in first world country, for them to be happy, they need X amount of money. Their credit score need to be this. They need to be make sure that all their bills are paid, and this. I need to have this degree. I need to have this by this age. It's always something chasing, right? These people, they don't have none of that, but they're happy because the value what they put, the things that they value in life is not so much of the materialistic stuff. You understand? So that's why you will see them smile, because my house is gone, but if I get back some nail and some board again, we'll string it up back, and then go on again, cook some more food and area again. You understand? And so this whole thing kind of let me look at life a certain way. As look, because imagine you can spend 40 years chasing one thing, like I need to own a house, and nothing is wrong with that. But you can see as a lot of the houses that gone in an instant. Nice cars are gone in an instant. The house is gone in an instant. The clothes, everything is gone in an instant, right? It's like you can work 40 years to achieve something and lose it in a day, right? Or you work 40 years and you say you're going to retire. And as you retire, the doctor says you have cancer, you'll have 2 weeks. Right? So these people find the simplest thing to what we call living simple, right? And find happiness in living simple. So you will see them smile because they know they can get back on their foot. And they are very optimistic people. You can't defeat them mentally, right? You can't defeat them mentally. So even when other, in the political situation, global, when there's all threatened for Jamaica, if Jamaica don't do this, and there's other country when, put embargo on our tourism, on our finances, or whatever. The people, they don't care. They say, go ahead, because they believe that they can defy the odds, right? So what you're seeing is a true example of a resilient people. You hear it in the music, you see it in our way of life, where we cook, or vibrancy, our art, so that's what you see, and you have to give these people credit. You understand? So, and there's a reason why when you go anywhere in the world, you can recognize a Jamaican, right? Super proud of where they're from, and they don't fear anything. And I think that is the big plus to have in a time like this. You know what I mean?
Well, I think you put the video on the chat. If that's what are we going to be watching here? We're going to watch it in a couple of seconds.
Okay.
What is this video? Tell us quickly.
So the video that I sent was on Thursday when, with my label and some of my team members that work with me on my label, we went to the Price Mart. Price Mart is like Costco in America, right? You get stuff by the bulk. So we bought a lot of rice, flour, tin food, you know what I mean? How you guys call it? Canned food, canned food, t-shirt, just basic stuff that can last them for a week of food. And we brought them to the country and we kind of packaged them and we distributed like 50 families. But some of the people that really live in, this is the same thing that the government is facing. Live in the hills and we have to walk through the bushes and go up there. And this is old man there, he's blind. He lives alone. Luckily, his house didn't get damaged, but we brought food to him. And there's many others, the senior citizens in the community and families that we don't. And one lady, when I got there, she was crying because her entire roof, everything's gone. So her house is one of the houses that we'll be working on tomorrow. We'll be dropping the materials. So we're doing our entire house from scratch because the walls that are there can't keep up. You understand? That won't last. So we're doing over the walls, the floor. We'll buy a mattress for her, the roof. We're doing everything for her. And there's quite a couple others where the tree fell in the house. It's leaking like crazy because it's a rainy season. So it rains every day, right? So we have to replace some of these furnitures and so forth. And I'm talking, each of these houses have 2-3 kids, right?
Yeah.
So tomorrow, and then when we went to the hardware to purchase some of the stuff, we couldn't at the time because there's no internet for the card machine to work, right?
Okay.
So what I've done is tomorrow we've got a guy with a truck. We'll go to Ochires. It's like 25 minutes from where we're at. So we can purchase the items there. We pay the truck guys to bring the material. So we'll be delivering the materials to each household tomorrow and then start working on it immediately, right? So I've rounded up guys in the community because they don't have nothing doing. I say, yo, this is our time.
Let's go work.
Work, exactly.
Let's watch the video, part of it anyway. Let's bring it up.
Okay, yeah.
And you can talk over it if you want to.
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah. So these are people who by ourselves. We try to. These are some such as this juice, sugar, flour. Put them in the bags. So we distributed to families on Thursday.
Load in stuff now. So now I must go down. So,
Yeah, so
where the next day there?
he has like
Go on.
13 children. This lady has 13
No,
children. So one of my goals next year is to buy we have to build her a house because she doesn't really have a house. She's catching
Yeah, man, respect, man.
I want to buy one of those
Yeah,
containers.
Mr. Packer.
We are going to brother.
There, I'm a teacher, man.
These guys live off the farm and they have no farm. And Cousin Al, you should know Uncle Eric. You know Uncle Eric, this guy right here?
I don't.
Yeah, so daddy, that land is and that's the land that our grand and daddy and your father gave to him to live on. So
that's who. I do know him. Of course, I do. Yeah,
Eric, right.
yeah. Eric. Oh, sure.
Yeah. So you know, right? So he lives by
Yeah, of course.
So and you remember Dali, who was the helper.
Yep.
Yeah. So we have to buy her a mattress and zinc also. Because, right. That's my mother's living room. The entire section is gone, so we have to redo the entire roof there.
Man. Wow.
Yeah, so everything is wet. You can see everything is wet there, right?
Yeah.
And then it was raining, so we had to stop. And then we went back in the night and start delivering to other houses because we went to different, not just my communities, but other communities, right? It was a challenge. This lady, I said, she lost everything. She was so happy to see us, right? Because she didn't know that we were coming. You know what I mean? She was there crying when we got there. Right? So sure, her house is one of the priority houses that we have to fix tomorrow.
Let me stop it there so we can wrap up. That's great. Thank you. Keep up the good work, man. Keep it up. So people, Jared, if you can put up Trini's notes, because she has a note here that says items needed. Can you put those on the screen? I can tell you what you wrote, Trini. You said, we need new items. No gently used items will be accepted, meaning you got to have new. The things needed include batteries, hand sanitizer, toothpaste, toothbrush, soap, hygiene items,
and shirts,
diapers,
anything. Yeah.
Baby wipe, canned foods, flashlights, masks, battery-operated lanterns, deodorant, women's hygiene products, many first aid kits, canned meat, canned fish, electrolyte powders, tarps, and blankets. Those are the things that are in need right now.
A few more things have been brought to light as far as plastic cutlery because people don't have no knife and fork, can openers, bottle openers, straws, blankets, and then new clothing. We just don't want to send down used clothing to our friends, right? So, but our second load, our second efforts, I'm sure we will have a little bit of a different, more added things to the list. You know what I mean? So, but yes, this is what we are accepting now, and it could be one pack of forks. I had my hairdresser call me today. She's like, I went into the dollar store and picked up some feminine hygiene items and $10, and I said, oh, thank you so much. And she's going to drop it to Galaxy tomorrow for me, and I don't have to pick it up.
Jared put up the locations. Carafest, put that up if you would. Yeah. Yep. Not the other memo, the other note that says.
Yep. Carrie Fest, Galaxy Foods, Nanny's Jamaican Kitchen, Guyam, Montego Blue, Pimenta locations. They have two of them, one in Minneapolis and one in St. Paul. And then Tropical Bowl has one over there next to Galaxy and one in St. Paul and Larpenteur. And West Indies Soul is taking donations as far as monetary. And we might, for the next round, have a couple more locations that want to add barrels. So we're not denying anybody. We just want to make sure they understand what the need is. So
Well, I believe there are discussions to entertain a barrel at the event on November 15th.
Yes. Yeah. Probably
if you guys need any information pertaining how you want to ship, we can send you that. There's a couple of ways you can send it.
Right.
Somebody from our team can go and pick it up. There's other organizations that are
right. Yeah. And then there's airlines now that are also doing baggage. They're waiving the baggage fees. So just to call that out, like American, exactly. They're waiving certain tariff and tax fees, right? All that good stuff.
Did you get I sent both you and Earl
I called her
contact
already. I'm waiting for her to
food for the
email.
poor.
Yes,
Listen,
I'm waiting
guys,
for
we're out of time. This has been a great
Thank you.
conversation. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for the compassion,
Thank you for your
the heart that you're showing in the face of disaster. And thank you for being the wonderful human beings that you are. I'm Al McFarland. Support Jamaica. We'll see you next time.
Thanks everyone for your support.
Thank you, and thanks, Al.
Yeah, man, bless up.